All right, now we're recording.
We're recording.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah,
Welcome.
we'll start.
Welcome to At the
Welcome.
Movies of Madness.
Episode 2. They said we couldn't do it. And
But
yet here we
had
are.
it
Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's start by
Yeah,
saying
fuck those guys.
thank you all 42 of you that listened to episode 1.
Yeah.
I think I might have been...
I think we might get to 31 this podcast.
31?
31.
I want to...
We lost 11 listeners.
We lost
but it's
11.
okay.
I think
you
that's
guys are
fine.
dedicated.
Well, it's because the 11 listeners were probably like our, us listening to it multiple times.
That's probably true.
This is
I'll
true.
only
Yeah,
listen
I
to
think
this
I
one
was
once.
35 of the 43.
I don't believe that, but I was at
don't
least
believe
2. He was at least 2. You were at least 2.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 6 there.
Yes.
That of the 42. So, we give or take a few people.
Right.
We're at
gonna
least at
lose a few.
31.
We don't need to get into the math of it, but what we're
Supporting
saying is that
listeners.
thank you, all of you. Not
We're-
even my girlfriend listened
We're
to
bound to lose a few from the first because those are the pussies that can't take.
an hour and 15
Dracula.
minutes.
They're just like, fuck Dracula.
That's
I hate
right.
that movie.
I mentioned we got
But
some
you know what?
feedback.
To all those listeners, Dracula was amazing.
It was
And
amazing.
You should rewatch
You should-
Dracula because you're a turd. If
You should
you
either-
haven't seen that in the last 5 years.
You should
'Cause
either
you
rewatch
don't
it.
remember any of it.
Yeah, you should either rewatch it or you should go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Well,
Those are the two options.
Well, I mean, I want to do both.
I want to fuck yourself.
Well, on that note, it's been a week. Hey, easy, buddy.
Oh boy.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
gonna
Okay, wow.
All right.
For those just joining us, Andrew just died. It's nice knowing him.
Okay, so it's just Zach and Nate this week.
Nate,
Yeah, that's
Zach.
it's been a week. How's it been?
It's been pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same thing?
Yeah.
Mundane, same boring life, day to day.
Do you think the word mundane comes from Monday with an N at the end?
Today is Monday, and I would say that it has been pretty mundane today.
That's true.
So I think
Mondays are always mundane.
I think you're onto something.
What do you think
Yeah.
Tuesday is? Is there an N at the end
No,
of
there's
every?
no such thing.
No.
Alright, never mind.
Andrew,
It's just any day that ends with a day is mediocre.
That's true. But only Mondays are mundane.
Exactly.
how you doing, buddy?
Are you alive?
Now, well, that I
You good?
just coughed up my entire lung.
Did you get it all out?
Yeah, I got it all out.
Lungs are superfluous anyway. You don't
Exactly.
need them. You've got gills, you don't need lungs.
Yeah,
Exactly,
you're like
fuck
Kevin
those
Costner in Waterworld.
I had one collapse one time. I've got another one. It's
Hey,
not a big
spoilers
deal.
for Waterworld, guys.
He's got gills. he's a fish man.
Why does he drink his own piss if he has gills? Like, you probably don't need to drink anything, right?
And he doesn't even sterilize it right. Like, I mean, I have
He's got the
watched
infinite
plenty
ocean to drink.
of Survivor Man,
Oh,
and you're
dude.
supposed to pee around the hole, and he totally pees in the hole.
If you pee right in the hole and then you crank something for like 2.5 minutes, it's pretty much sterile.
I believe so.
What do you have to crank, though?
Just anything. Any
Penis
crank.
works, too?
Hey.
I won't crank anything. I'll just drink my own pee. It
Hey.
doesn't matter.
Okay. All right.
Welcome to ATMOM episode 2.
I think we're
You
getting
guys
off
should
topic.
listen to a
Not
snippet of
off topic.
Suspiria.
It's useless to try and explain it to you. You wouldn't understand. It all seems so absurd. Hey, listen. There they go, right on schedule. The teachers, remember?
Okay.
You hear
That
them?
happened.
No, you gotta leave that in there, okay.
For those listening, if you'd like to email us, send us an email, send us a question. Maybe we'll read it in our next episode.
Maybe we won't. Maybe you're a shithead.
Go to
Maybe we'll watch any movie you have to suggest.
yes,
Maybe
please
we
suggest some
won't.
movies. Except for
Because if you have shitty taste, we're not gonna watch your movie.
yeah, don't give us like When a Stranger Calls,
Yeah.
the remake that I watched yesterday,
To be fair, the call is coming from inside the house, so
and it is from a stranger.
yeah.
And there's nothing really else you need to
might
know.
be wearing a white mask,
Yeah.
but
Man.
I'm not sure.
Speaking of strangers in the house, I've never watched Strangers, so I'd like to watch that sometime.
Excellent movie.
It's
What
a
I was
long
going to tell
movie.
you earlier, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
You stupid ass.
This stuff doesn't need cut out. We
That-
can just air this.
This is fine. Fuck them.
We should watch Funny Games sometime.
That's an excellent movie. The Strangers. Joanna Newsom got brought into the mainstream because her song was in The Strangers.
I don't remember
Which
that
song?
being the
Sprout in the
Sprout and the
Bean.
Bean was
Oh
in The
yeah,
Strangers?
it
Yep.
was.
That was
It
like
was
the-
also in a car commercial.
Wow, it's been in so much. Actually, like
yeah.
I don't know, probably like half a dozen artists have covered that song in particular, and
I've covered it.
I actually didn't realize it was in so many movies. It's great though. I love that song.
Continue. I apologize.
I was just going to say that we should watch Funny Games, but I would like to watch both versions because I've never watched the original.
I heard it's a shot-for-shot
Yeah,
remake.
it's
That's what I've
shot for
heard,
shot remake,
but I want to be able to
and
compare them.
actually, like Edge of Darkness and Funny Games are the only two movies I've ever seen directed by the same person, other than Mad Max is now coming out here soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are both directed by the original director, remade for modern day.
Don't hit the table because it's dangerous.
You just hit the table.
Yeah. So that'll
Son
probably
of a
show
bitch.
up on the next thing. Zach will have to edit it out, and that's okay.
It's okay because Zach just scraped his beer across the table too.
And,
When I said to email us, maybe I should give the address.
That would be good.
atmompodcast@gmail.com.
Did you hear that, fellas? ATMOMpodcast@gmail.com.
Send us an email. Tell us, do you like us? Do you love us? Are we,
Do you
in
want
fact,
some more of us?
are we too sexy for your shirts? Let us know.
You probably don't want to hear from more of us, but that's okay. We're going to give you more of us anyway.
You're going to have so much of us all over
You're
your
gonna have
face.
to deal with it.
Okay.
Just fuck
that
you
enough?
guys.
Okay.
Well, fuck you in like a loving way.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you noticed I haven't said Well, I just
I'm
said it
so
there. That
proud
doesn't
of
count.
Wait,
I said it.
So
You didn't
in
hear
the
it
last
last week?
podcast you edited out
250 I took out.
ums and
did you actually?
like.
Yes,
Did you,
250
did you
I
also
took
do
out.
likes or no?
I didn't take out any likes.
I was very impressed with your editing. It was good.
Well, I do it. We had to do it. Me and TJ
You
for
took
our
probably,
movie.
what, 15 minutes?
All right. Well, you're not going to edit any
15,
of
20
this,
here.
but we are going to get on to the point.
There's no point, Andrew.
The point,
It's like life. There's no point.
like the point of
Okay.
a knife, like a knife in a horror movie Suspiria.
Holy shit. There are some knives in there. Good. Nate actually did not watch this movie with us tonight.
No, I did
Tonight
not.
was his night to meet his girlfriend's family after 4 years.
That's
and,
true.
And I do think that
3
it-
years.
Three, but
years.
3 is very much like 4.
It is
that
very much
also a
like
number.
4.
And if you think that's more important than watching Suspiria, okay, that's fine. But we watched it.
I'm such a
Zach and I, and Nate can comment next week if he wants to, because I'm sure we'll have an hour or two.
I'm gonna
talk
watch
to you
it.
folks about anything we want to.
I'm gonna watch it like tomorrow. So
It's so good.
Are you off tomorrow?
yeah,
Look at you.
Yeah,
You mean-
definitely watch it tomorrow.
That's so
It's
cool.
real good. Zach
Mm-hmm.
and I just got finished with it. It's not, if anybody's ever seen it, it's not the most surprising movie you've ever seen. There's a
I
lot
would
of
say it is
foreshadowing
it is
in
more-
the movie if you've ever watched it. Obviously, Zach and I are not the most intelligent of people, so we did not see anything that came the first time we watched it. And
Did you say that I'm not one of the most
wait.
intelligent?
So you guys didn't come the first
Well,
time you watched it?
I came the first time I watched it, but it was because of everything else in the movie, and not because of the script or the story behind it. And
I will say it's one of those visual movies.
yeah,
All
heard
movies are visual.
everything
I have
else is
heard
a
a lot.
sensory overload in this movie. And
Kind of reminded me of like a little Stanley Cooper.
I
A
feel
little
like
2001
if
going
you
on there.
don't pick up on the actual like premise of the whole story, you're not an idiot, because there's just so much more going on that you pay attention to the shots, the acting. It's a very colorful film. You pay attention to everything else other than what the actual story is. So the people that don't pick up on the story, you're not stupid, because Zach and I both, first time viewing, I have seen this movie like 6 times, 8 times,
I feel like
Zach has
gets
seen it
lower every
once.
time we talk about it.
and we've,
You have a T-shirt.
I have a
you
T-shirt.
have a
of this
Suspiria
movie.
T-shirt.
Yes,
That's how much you're into it.
this is one of my favorite
I've
horror
heard a
films
lot.
of all time.
I've heard that from a lot of people, and I've also heard a lot about the colors and the visuals.
Lots of colors happening.
Very visual film. Very
Very red. Right, lots of red going on.
Lots of red, blues, greens, and yellows.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Like a lot of primary colors and
Yeah.
then a lot of also green.
Yeah.
It is very
all
creepy.
Those are very, prevalent in this movie. And, I don't know. That and the original Halloween are two of my favorite horror movies of all time.
I truly need to rewatch Halloween.
We can
because
do that.
I've literally
We
only
can do
watched
that.
it one
I
time.
have the 35th anniversary Blu-ray if we want to watch that.
Good.
Because actually, I have not seen it since I bought it. I just assume that it's going to be really nice looking.
It should be great.
I've only watched it once, and the most of the stuff that I remember is like the 45 minutes in the middle where it's
Nothing
just-
happens.
Nothing happens for 45 fucking minutes.
In the original Halloween?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's because...
I remember like the cool kills, like the knitting needle kill is fucking sweet.
Yeah.
But
Giallo, like John Carpenter, in my opinion, took a lot from any kind of Giallo movie. Like any Italian stab movie from the 70s, John Carpenter has probably seen.
do they call them Italian stab movies?
They're just Giallo. But they're Italian stab
It's
movies.
just Giallo.
That's literally how everybody dies in these movies, is they get stabbed some way or another.
I mean, honestly, is there a more, I mean, other than really horrific stuff, is there a more like everyday way to die that's more horrific?
Not really.
I will throw. I will throw
actually,
something out there.
yeah,
This has
Throw it out.
This has probably the worst way to die that I would never want.
There's a razor
It's a
wire
spirit.
scene.
Girl
and,
just falls into a room filled with razor wire.
I'm talking about
Everyday stuff?
everyday ways to die. Like,
You don't see rooms with razor wire in them every day like I do.
I mean, I do, but it's mostly in my
Have
thoughts.
you?
my
I'm
fantasies.
surprised. I've never
Maybe like a car accident. Do you mean like by a murderer?
But
like
Wait,
like
do you mean like people trying to escape from prison?
What the fuck are you talking about? I love you, Andrew, but I don't know what you're saying. I'm talking about like,
everyday ways to die?
well, drowning. Drowning would
Drowning
probably be
sucks.
the only thing scarier that I could think of than being like
yeah.
stabbed
Drowning
to
would be
death.
Well, being on
awesome.
fire wouldn't be good.
I don't know.
Well,
Honestly,
being
like
on fire, yeah, but that's quicker than drowning, and it's quicker than, well, not quicker than
the
being
razor
stabbed,
wire,
but,
I
like,
think, is the most horrific thing because there's no like going into shock in that. I mean, there probably
you're just constantly
is,
being bombarded with.
God, I can't even
but
think
you're
of
just
that.
being
hatred.
cut, just little by little, like a paper cut. Like every 5 seconds of
And really-
the last minutes of your life.
Yep.
And really, the
And
best
it's
thing
got to be god awful.
The only thing you can do is not move, and how can you not move when you're
can't move
covered in
because-
razor wire?
Yeah, exactly. Because you're like, everything is shocking to you. So you're in some kind of crazy, I don't know, like you're
razor
just-
wire.
Not even that.
You're just in
but
a
like your
frenzy,
mindset,
you know,
your
like-
mindset at that point is you're in shock. So
You're frenzied. You're
in a
flailing
frenzy,
around.
exactly. So you're moving around, you're flailing your arms. There is no keeping still, so you're constantly just cutting yourself.
And then you die.
And then you die. Exactly.
Your last like 5 minutes of your life are pure.
And not
terror.
even do you just die because of the razor wire. Somebody just comes in and slits your throat.
What that happened? to you?
And so there are spoilers in this, Nate. I'm sorry.
Fine. No, it's
I
totally fine. I
Just
understand.
peed as you were talking about that.
Like, that whole scene is intense. Every time I've watched it,
Yeah.
I've seen this movie probably 6-8 times. And every time.
You
it's-
change the number every time.
He
I
said
say 6 to 8
last
because I
time,
don't
too.
know.
Well, we're sitting on the couch and I've seen this 15 times. Maybe
Well,
like
no.
14, 12.
Yeah, I
6,
backtracked
8, 10.
after
seen this
15 times. I did say 15 times at first. But then afterwards, I like kind of re-edited to like half as much.
You're being conservative. Aaron.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't want to seem like too much of an expert.
What you
Exactly.
wanted to
But
say
I have
was
seen this movie.
you
several
will have
times.
seen it 15 times in the near future.
In the near future.
Right. Yeah.
Within the next, like, I watch it probably once a year, so, like, within the next 5 years, I'll have seen it
that and like
15
Home
times.
Alone, right around Christmas
Oh, yeah.
time, you watch them together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know.
Suspiria, Home Alone,
Story.
Black
I've never
Christmas.
seen a Christmas story.
Are you shitting me?
I'm not shitting you. That would hurt.
Story's
Divya
so
has.
good.
You just shit me out. Just the whole
Yep.
thing.
I'm not
Actually,
gonna do
you know
that.
what's going to happen in this podcast?
You're gonna get drunk.
Black Christmas is going to happen in this podcast.
Oh man, I've
I've
never
Black
never
seen
seen
Christmas
that.
is so good. Bob Clark, is a great director, not only for the Christmas Story, but for
he
the
did
horror movie he did beforehand. It's so good.
Stop
need to
slapping the
see Black
table
Christmas.
before I slap you.
Yeah, don't slap the table.
And it's-
How do you feel
fired.
about that?
There's a lot of like sexual weird stuff that happens in that movie. It's great.
Sexual weird stuff is my favorite.
And A Christmas Story, or are we talking
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, Black Christmas.
Isn't he looking at a flagpole or
Leg
something?
leg.
Yeah, come
Black
on.
Christmas for being like a 77 horror movie is nuts. Like everything in that movie is like crazy sexual. Bob Clark is just awesome. Directed that movie, wrote it movie.
So what did you guys watch this week? White Dog?
We watched Suspiria
Oh, Suspiria.
and White Dog.
I love this movie.
I'm glad that you really liked it because
Were you a little worried I wasn't gonna like it? You weren't. You know.
no, not at all actually. Because I've never met anybody that didn't like this movie,
Unless they're communists.
unless they're communists. They may be Japanese. Or
Aaron,
Indian. I don't
my girlfriend sat down with us to watch.
Part of it.
Attempted to watch the whole thing.
She give up?
Got about 20 minutes in. She's like, "Good night. Go to
I have to
bed."
go to bed.
Yep, gonna go to bed.
I don't
this
think
is,
I don't think Aaron's a good gauge of the average movie viewer though, because
It's
she's
really
a little squeamish,
not-
right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
the extent of her horror experience
Like
is
this movie
Scooby-Doo.
is still really dated in my opinion, but it's just so well done at the same time, because obviously it's it's a 36-year-old movie now at this point,
It's hard to believe, actually.
and I was telling Zach earlier, as of August 12th, I think this is a little cool feature we should do for every one of our movies. As of August 12th, 1977, this was a 36-year-old movie.
That's a pretty old
And
movie.
so
That's kind of crazy. It doesn't look like that at all.
no, not at all.
I only saw a small snippet when I first watched when I first walked in, and it looked like it came out
Of the 90s.
yesterday.
Yesterday.
Blue Underground has done a really good job of
Yeah, that
doing
that
the
DVD
transfers.
transfer is something else.
Is that a DVD transfer?
Yeah,
Because
that's a
it looked
DVD.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I have the
a digital video
deluxe
disc.
edition of that, which comes with a soundtrack. Goblin does an awesome soundtrack for this film.
Soundtrack has pretty much made the movie for me, I think. I
Yeah.
want to say. That and
Soundtrack
just
is
the
so
set
good.
designs were amazing.
Yeah, the colors, the props, the soundtrack, all make this movie what it is today.
I know that you guys mentioned the color, and I brought up the color, but the fact that everyone who talks about this talks about the color in the movie, to me,
Does it make you really
It's,
interested to see it now?
yeah, I'm so fascinated by the
Aren't
idea
you
that
so mad that you didn't watch it?
I am. I'm gonna punch you right in the fucking teeth.
There's just not a film like this movie.
I really don't think there is. I
How
don't know.
can color be so prevalent that everyone that talks
Italian horror
talks about it?
movies, okay, started off with, we have Giallo has been the certain theme, which Giallo is pretty much just a stabbing film.
Giallo Puddin' Pops?
So that's what
Giallo
means?
Puddin' Pops. I don't know. There is an actual meaning from Giallo, but pretty much any Giallo film is a slasher film that includes some kind of general character that's just a real life person.
Okay.
Which this is something I wanted to actually add to our podcast tonight. Halloween, which is another one of my favorite films of all time, which is what made this different from any other kind of slasher film, is because John Carpenter took the slasher film idea and then did a kind of 180 with it. Gave the character a ridiculous persona where he is not human. And so that's what made Halloween so much different from anything that the Italians did before the Americans. Because, the Italians have been making, slasher stabbing films since the early 60s. And then we didn't come out with Halloween, which was the first of our kind, until 78.
So
And
and the
then-
idea that someone is truly a monster. That
This-
is,
Michael Myers is truly evil and not a person. That's what makes it different from any kind of early 70s Giallo films, Italian slasher films. is because Michael Myers is not human.
Right.
He is
He
a
is,
being.
but he's not. He's
Exactly.
like, he's this beyond natural,
You know,
almost supernatural.
exactly. Like he's no longer human. He is the pretty much incarnate of evil.
Right.
And all like the 70s slasher films are just like, I'm a person, I just want to go out and kill people.
Even Malcolm McDowell can't kill him.
Exactly.
I was gonna say this kind of reminded me of A Clockwork Orange a little bit. Just
Yeah, there's
just
a lot of
in terms of just style.
which I
and-
think they were actually pretty close to the same time
I
because
think
Stanley
I think
Kubrick did
I think that was
like,
76.
yeah,
and
this was
Suspiria was 77.
77,
Really?
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And
So-
Halloween was 78.
Exactly.
I
So-
feel really bad because I've only watched A Clockwork Orange once and I fell asleep at the end.
Clockwork Orange is so good.
It was very good.
I think this was probably the like mother of like horror movies coming from Italy to America. You know, there was plenty before this, but Suspiria was like that one that like, hey, we brought some American actors in there, we have some Italian actors in there, and we are showing American viewers what us Italians are doing. And we're doing slasher films. We want to see people get stabbed. And so us as Americans, John Carpenter was just like, I want to take this being and make it not human. And so that's where Halloween came from. So these whole slasher thing has been around for a while, but, you know, we kind of like took our own thing.
I have a
and did.
question about Suspiria. You said there's some Italian actors and some not English, but English.
No, there are
American.
English-speaking American actors in this movie.
Like there's some Italian actors, there's some American actors, but is it like a spaghetti western in that like the Italians speak Italian and then they dub over it?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly like that.
Pretty noticeable.
It's
Really?
pretty
Okay.
noticeable, yeah.
But
Like,
honestly,
and
I was
that
getting
doesn't bother me.
I was getting so caught up in it, it didn't even matter.
it does
It didn't-
exactly
yeah.
like it's really well done. All the Italian speaking actors do a really good job with the dubbing. There's a lot of really good voiceovers from the American actors. That
When I was listening to it from the kitchen, I mean, it all sounded really good.
yeah, obviously
Sounded
Udo
really
Kier
natural.
doesn't sound like Udo Kier if you've watched the movie.
Udo Kier is in this.
But,
He's been in a million movies, and I can't name any of them. But
Blade.
he was in Blade.
is so
he was
good.
in Blade, which
Are we going to talk about Blade every
we
week?
mentioned Blade last week, and I feel like we should mention Blade
It's
every
because
week.
vampires are just.
Can I talk about the
themed.
blood rave since that's the only point that I remember?
Yeah,
Okay. There was a blood rave.
Udo Kier's part of the blood god La Magra, and like Blade just takes his soul and like 10 other people's souls.
Udo Kier has never played someone I haven't been creeped the fuck out by.
Oh, he's a
I
good
think it's because
actor.
of his eyes. He's a very
yeah.
good actor.
Very good actor.
Kind of looks like Cillian Murphy in this movie. 'cause
Except
he's so young.
in there's a really bad movie that I've watched. I'm not gonna be able to tell this podcast because I don't remember the title of it.
Well, you fucking ass.
But
Way to
it's
waste our
terrible
time.
though. I bought it for $2.50 and it's awful. It's some monster movie. I'll probably tell it one of these weeks. Somebody will hear it and be like, "Okay, I won't buy that movie."
To go back a hair, if I may,
You may.
this
hair
kind of
like a rabbit or hair like a human hair?
like a pube.
Okay.
This is gonna sound really random, but Charlize Theron was in a movie called Monster.
Oh yeah.
It's based on
Yeah.
a true story.
She gets raped by a baseball bat.
Yeah, which I've never seen, but I hear it's amazing.
God,
She-
It's
buy
actually-
a baseball
it's
bat, not
actually-
with a baseball bat, but
No.
buy one.
She gets fucked with a baseball bat.
okay.
And it's actually, I really enjoy that movie.
Well, now I have to see it. If that
But
happens.
it
That's
is
a weird thing to follow
intense.
that up with.
Yeah.
She gets raped with a baseball bat.
I really love
enjoy
that movie. yeah.
Yeah. No,
Um,
it's intense. It's an intense film, but it I don't know. It's definitely worth watching. Like everybody should definitely see that movie. Charlize Theron is awesome. I'm pretty sure she won an Oscar for that film.
She did.
She at least won an Oscar for makeup.
She
I
did.
know-
Well, she didn't win the Oscar for makeup, but
Can this
She-
be a running theme every week where we just say that somebody won an Oscar for makeup?
It's gonna
and we're not
happen.
sure?
Yeah.
I mean, like that's if viewers should understand that we are
Listeners,
going to
guys.
tie in weird movies with other things because we watch film. So we're gonna conglomerate a whole bunch of shit.
Also, we're just three guys. That's it.
It's 3 dudes.
So if we have any factual inaccuracies,
Why don't you email us and let us know?
Yeah.
And then
We're
we'll
gonna
throw
post
it
it
away.
on IMDb, and if you
Yeah.
don't like it and
You
you think that
can
we're a bunch of idiots,
fucking eat it.
post it.
just kidding. Don't eat
And
it.
you know what? We're not gonna read it because fuck you.
Anyway,
I'll probably read it, honestly.
I mean, I'll probably read it once, and then I'll still say fuck you.
I had a point to make about Charlize Theron
Okay.
because she's very beautiful.
Oh yeah,
But-
she's great.
and she's ugly in that movie. And I was watching this interview
She's
with her.
hideous. And actually, have you ever seen? It's always or no? What is that?
would I make my-
Arrested Development.
Yeah, it's
That's
just-
one of my favorite jokes in Arrested Development when
So
they say
funny.
that she got plastic surgery and then they show the clip, they show the picture for Monster.
It's so
That's
great.
amazing.
Oh wait, it's so awesome.
I was watching an interview with her, and she was talking about horror films and her performance in that movie. I've had 4 beers. I'm sorry. I'm kind of.
I have also
We
had 4
actually
beers, excuse me.
could put that movie in this
Let me make
Thing.
my point.
because it is pretty ridiculous.
She said that American horror movies tend to have monsters in them more than foreign movies
Oh yeah, exactly.
because
Either monsters or like some kind of like weird like supernatural being like Michael Myers. You know.
and the reason why is because Americans feel better knowing that these
Oh, yeah.
characters aren't human beings.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Because
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
you,
Because we're
you
a
might
bunch
be
of fucking pussies.
you might be afraid of Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers and Jason, but at the
You're
end
not
of the
afraid
day,
of some everyday man that
it's
just
all
goes around
s-
stabbing
yeah,
people.
it's all
Not
supernatural.
because it's not scary, but because you don't want to be scared of that.
Exactly.
So the odds of you finding an American horror film that's a slasher film that's just it's a human being doing it
Which
are
is why,
very
like,
slim. You're not going
in
to
my
find many of
opinion,
them.
Strangers is a really good horror movie.
Right.
I was just gonna say that's why I was so.
But
like,
them, I feel like, is even more superior because them is like the French version, but it's
Ills. Yeah.
it's really different. And I can't ruin the ending for you because I don't want to ruin the ending for anybody listening. But that whole movie is a mind fuck to me because it's
the whole
just
thing.
I don't know.
His mind's just
Jeff
getting
Cole is
fucked.
probably listening right now, but Jeff Cole will be a hard ass about that movie. But it's not that type of movie. If you wanna, definitely no watch. We actually that should be part of our like thing here too. We should watch them.
We
Them
could do
is a really good.
I was
film.
going to propose a them strangers
'Cause
double feature. We could do some double
We
features
could
on
we
this
could do
podcast.
some double features because honestly, them is the same movie, but with a different character set. Without giving too much away, we won't spoil that in this episode. But them has younger crowd involved.
Andrew, I love everything that you are.
It's fine.
Everything.
It's fine.
Also, since we're saying entire names in this, we're putting people's whole names out there. Jeff Cole, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, Jeff.
Yeah, it's fuck.
You posted
this whole thing about people being scared of people, like actual people.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say that's one of the things that was so freaky about Funny Games to me.
Oh yeah,
right.
Like,
Funny Games is a great movie.
I haven't seen that in a long time, and over the past month,
That's
like
what
7 people
that's what
have
you'll
bought
love
that
about
movie.
them, though.
Well, not
Oh,
to get
man.
not to get too controversial here, but
Them
when
is real good, and Jeff Cole will hate that movie.
when we see stuff like, and I'll dance around these words carefully.
You don't need to edit this. Fuck that.
When we
put
see
this whole thing
but
online.
when we see stuff like 9/11 or we see Virginia Tech or Sandy Hook,
Yeah,
it completely jars us here.
of course.
But in other countries, that shit's like that's a Tuesday over there.
Oh yeah,
Like that's not like
like
that's scary here because that's real people doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Like we feel
yeah,
better.
but
We want to
there
go
are
see.
so
wanna
many
think about it.
suicide
Yeah,
bombers
yeah.
over in.
Have you guys seen pictures from that shit?
We just watched Death in Gaza. Actually, I just watched that over my house with Brian. Death in Gaza is nuts because
Just like-
it's all about everything happening in what is it? The Philippines, actually?
Gaza's not in the Philippines.
No,
It's in Canada, Andrew.
Yeah.
I'm getting another beer. Can I?
Is it?
You know what?
Please continue.
But either way,
Can we take a break? 'Cause
We're
I
gonna
have
take a
to pee.
break.
Hey,
no, we don't need to take a break.
we're gonna take a break because I have to pee.
Okay. And we're back.
And
Hey,
we're back.
folks.
You guys are drinking water? And I'm
This
still
is
drinking.
I
beer.
have
Okay.
7-Up this time because I'm drunk.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to stop drinking the drinks and have just a regular liquid.
You need to start sipping on gin and juice.
That's true.
Can you hear enough of Nathan Fuller?
Yeah.
How can you possibly hear enough of Nathan Fuller?
It's impossible.
That's my
There is
question.
there's no. You can't hear enough, obviously.
I just said fuck me.
God, you stupid idiot.
That's
We're gonna
more.
have to fucking cut that
That's
out of
more
this.
work for me.
God, it's so much work.
The plan though is to record on Monday and then have it posted by Friday. That way I have Tuesday through
I
Friday.
think that's a fine idea.
That's
Okay,
fine. idea.
'cause-
I'm totally okay with that.
Because
yeah.
I had my work cut out for me with the editing.
Honestly, Monday might not always work.
Well,
It depends on.
Well, it has to.
Honestly,
It
I
has to.
don't
No, it
feel like you edited that much stuff because
I took like 20 minutes out.
That's the magic.
that's
though.
not that much, though.
That's
in,
true.
In retrospect, we had like an hour and a half of.
It's about a fifth of it. I mean, honestly, that's pretty impressive editing because
Yeah,
it
it
doesn't
is pretty
sound like you
impressive
cut a lot
editing. Yeah, it
out.
doesn't-
There's one point where the editing is obvious
Mm-hmm.
towards the end. That's it.
Well,
Even
obviously,
then-
what you guys are saying is that I'm really talented. So.
I mean,
Even then, like, I don't
creative
feel
genes.
cut off by any means.
No. There's
Yeah.
nothing that I felt like I said that had any meat that you cut it out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's-
I don't-
you're
I don't-
just removing the excess. You're trimming the
Which is
fat.
what I was telling Jeff, because Jeff put a lot of viewing into this, obviously, because, you know,
That's what he does.
yeah, he just likes to critique anything that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So he listened to this podcast and said,
And we don't
that-
critique anything that he does because that would take too long.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that guy. So he was listening to our podcast and said that we, you know, there's too much filler, I guess,
Too much filler.
I can understand that.
which I can understand.
But
So
But
basically,
that's
what we're
gonna
doing
be-
right now, he's going to be really dissatisfied.
Yeah.
with.
Fuck that.
That's
Like,
too bad.
honestly,
That's just too bad.
This should be part of the podcast. If you don't want to listen to it, I'm really sorry, because this is going to happen every week.
it's too difficult to not go on tangents. As long as our tangents are interesting.
Exactly.
To-
You know,
Oh, I have one. I have a tangent. We're going to wait, though.
Okay.
Let's
talk about Suspiria.
Yeah, the very artistic film.
yeah, great.
I thought the
film.
cinematography was captivating. I'm just kidding.
Why?
No,
Why is that a
there's no
joke?
kidding
I
about
was trying to
this.
sound really super serious,
No,
and I'm not like that at all.
Sounds super serious. I want your honest opinion.
No,
because
it's like a beautiful film, though.
this is one of my favorite films of all time. I have no top 10 that I can actually like give you guys because there's a lot of film that I have yet to rewatch.
It's
But-
too hard.
That saying, Suspiria and Halloween are my two favorite Halloween movies of all time. Totally different ends of the spectrum as far as slasher movies are concerned, but they're both brilliant in their own way.
And
Anything Italian, honestly, this is what I wanted to talk about. Anything Italian film, as far as slasher movies are concerned, are totally different than anything prior to Halloween. They're everything, formats on a real life person. So every slasher film precursor to Halloween has something to do with a real life person. Just some guy who's lost his rockers, who is just out there stabbing people. Mostly women, I think, when it comes to the Italian side of
Well, those are the only people that I would
films.
stab, honestly.
It's all women.
Do you think that that's...
Michael Myers is a legend, though, when it comes to slasher films, because he is the first of a serial killer persona, per se. There was... Everything beforehand was just people. Nobody different than me or you. Michael Myers is the epitome of evil, I guess, if you want to put it in the retrospect of the film. They are just evil people, and he is not human. And so everything prior to that has pretty much been Italian, and all of those being normal people who are just out there stabbing people. They just lose their mind, and they want to shank somebody for some reason.
Most likely
They
will,
want to giallo somebody.
Yeah, they want to giallo somebody.
will probably be me someday, honestly.
I mean, I would stab you.
I would stab me.
Do you think that has something to do with like a distinct psyche from the American and the Italian people, or like the American and the rest of the world?
I don't know that, and I've kind of like tried to think about that more often than not, but it could be because the Italian are obviously much more liberal than we are, and in the sense that there is just everyday people just out there murdering another person. There's
like
no
Italy.
there's no evil or like Antichrist kind of character in any of their film. Giallo is just all about a everyday person just out there just stabbing people, just losing their mind, and they're just out there killing people.
And is that too much for America or what?
Maybe. Honestly, I don't know, because
I mean,
me as an American, obviously I don't feel that way.
right? But when I think of popular American
But
horror
exactly
films,
what I feel about popular American.
there's like Friday the 13th, and there's Nightmare on Elm Street, and there's Halloween, and those are all supernatural figures. Those aren't.
They're
just a
supernatural
guy.
figures, and they're cheesy.
Child's Play would be another one.
Child's Play.
Chucky.
Yeah.
Everything's-
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
But even so, like nothing I feel like is as even Halloween considered, nothing lives up to a persona that these characters kind of live up to. Halloween, Michael Myers is a evil character, and he's not human. Suspiria, you have all witches, which is also subhuman as well. And us as Americans, I just feel like there's no supernatural aspect to our films. We are all about somebody going crazy, for instance. And it wasn't until Halloween that we thought more about a supernatural aspect as opposed to a human aspect.
Yeah, because you had like what was the one? Mother's Day. You seen that?
Even Texas Chainsaw
Texas Chainsaw would be another one.
is a big one.
and that's people, but
This
it's
is a
people
guy
who've
who's
been
gone
affected.
insane and has killed people on a just pretty much a basis to kill people. Leatherface is a character where he has obviously killed other human beings, and his pretty much huge role in like the slasher genre is that he is insane.
Right, but like he's insane, but you're still removed from him in that he's a product of isolation and of incest.
Oh yeah,
He's not just a guy.
Oh no, he's a product of human nature, for sure.
That's an interesting division to me of just like people who do things, and then either people who are born of special circumstances or supernatural beings. The only thing that I can even think of that would be comparable, I mean, I'm sure I could think of more, but I'm drunk right now. The only thing I can even think of is like Friday the 13th #1, who is, it's
his
the mother killing people. I mean, even she though is
Friday
separated
the 13th
the fact
is
that,
so good.
I know. I love the first Friday the 13th. But even she is separated by the fact that, she's
It's
driven
not
mad
him.
by
It's
the death
not
of...
Jason Voorhees.
Right. But even she is separated by the fact that she's driven mad by the fact that her son died because of neglect. Like, she's not...
because of the fact that park kids didn't do anything
fuck
at
those
all.
kids at the park.
Yeah.
Fucking Camp Crystal Lake. Eat a dick, Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. No wonder you got stabbed in the throat.
With a fucking arrow. That kill is so good.
Oh, it's so good.
It's a good movie.
I mean, I haven't seen that movie. I've only seen The Incredible Mr. Limpet, The Dark Knight Rises, and Bring It On. But,
I was gonna say this would have been your 5th movie that you've seen
Right.
after Dracula. But
Yeah, exactly. This would be the 5th movie.
I said
You
son of a
stupid
bitch. I
You
can't.
know, don't edit any of this stuff. Who the fuck cares?
Jeff Cole's gonna have a field day with you
Fuck
on
Jeff
this one.
Cole.
This is gonna be
This
nothing but gold for him.
This is a goddamn podcast. We're gonna talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
I was gonna say how artistic this movie was.
It is so good.
And I was a little saddened by the fact that most horror movies today are not so.
There's not a heavy level of art in there.
No.
It's
No, I'm so
mostly
glad you
shock
like this
value.
movie because it really is in my top 10, and nor do I have a top 10.
Are you trying to say this is in your top 10?
I am trying to say this is in my top 10. I don't have a top 10 because I've never really thought about it that much.
You don't have a top 10, but this is definitely in there.
Yes.
If you were to have a top 10,
If
this
I
would
was
be
to
in
have
it.
a top 10, Halloween and Suspiria are in my top 10. Other than that, I couldn't pick the rest of the other 8 because there's just so much that I either haven't seen or whatever. There's a ton of other movies that I would have to consider in my top 10. That
I know it's
aren't
definitely
in my top 10.
I know it's in my top 10 for sure.
But
You've
otherwise,
done
Suspiria
serious-
and Halloween are in my top 10.
You've done serious deliberation, though. Like, that takes serious
Exactly, like,
thinking to determine
this
the
has
top
been-
10 of all of your favorite
This
of
has
one
been
form of
over
art.
the
Me?
last
No, I mean, I'm saying
anyone. Exactly. This has been over the last 10 years. If you've seen Suspiria or you've seen Halloween or you've seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, whatever. These are films that you have watched over the course of the last 20 years and have made it into your top 10 because of something.
Right. Like, when you've done blog posts about your top, 25 films or
30.
30 films. And it's not like you took those out of nowhere and just decided that was your top 30.
Exactly.
You thought about that.
I thought about it for days.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Days.
Absolutely.
I know my
I
top
don't-
10 by heart.
Yeah.
I don't have a top
I
10
don't have
because
a
of the
top
fact that I just said there's several movies that I haven't rewatched.
yeah.
The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre being one of them. I need to rewatch that movie.
Silence of the Lambs is number 3.
Martyrs is definitely in my top 10.
That's a good movie.
Martyrs is incredible to me. Inside might not be in my top 10, but it's my top 11.
So it's number 11? Is that what you're trying to say?
Because it's so good as well, but
need to watch
it's another one that it's just... That plot for that movie is kind of ridiculous.
Inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you just look at it from a script standpoint, it's ridiculous. That movie makes no sense
So
other than the fact that it's about a woman who wants another woman's baby.
So it's more about execution than it is about the actual script.
Probably yes, because there's a lot more killing in that movie than there is anything else.
I think it's a metaphor for abortion.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I was making a joke, but
No, I actually agree with that
From what I've
because
heard, I could get on board with that.
I still haven't seen the whole thing yet.
You haven't seen the whole thing of
Really?
Martyrs?
No, Inside.
Inside.
Oh.
Martyrs.
What the fuck are you guys talking about anymore?
Martyrs or Inside.
Inside is what we were talking about.
Martyrs I've seen like
Martyrs
5 times.
though is also
Crazy movie.
crazy movie. That will be one we will talk about. Actually, we should. I honestly say Nate should see Martyrs before he sees Suspiria.
Really?
Nah.
Because I want to watch Suspiria tomorrow.
Nah. Yeah, you should watch Suspiria first. Can I tell you something about Suspiria? This will make you shit your pants.
I mean, obviously, Suspiria is like a 36-year-old movie, but Martyrs, in my opinion, is incredible. I have never seen anything like that in my entire life. Suspiria also being in that realm, but it's just not the same as Martyrs. Nowhere close to the same
Well, it's way more disturbing.
realm.
No one
Like,
breaks anybody's
Martyrs
back with
is
broken
one of the
glass
most
in
disturbing
Suspiria.
films I've ever seen. Martyrs is also not only one of the most disturbing films I've ever seen, but one of the most creative films I've ever seen. It's just incredible. Everything that happens in Martyrs is so good.
It's incredibly hard to watch.
It's incredibly hard to watch. It's very violent.
It's crazy.
I used to have such a problem with that.
Suspiria,
I don't anymore. I need to rewatch
I can see
Martyrs.
being in that realm, but Suspiria is also 36 years old.
Some of the stuff in Suspiria freaked me out. Like it was.
It's still so good, but yeah, Suspiria is just it's dated, and in all honesty, there's still a lot of stuff in Suspiria that's not just not all that great for today's standards.
There's talk of a remake.
Really?
Yeah, of course there is.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Which actually, last time I read, could be cool. David Gordon Green is talking about doing the remakes of Suspiria. Last time I read, which could be cool because he did Undertow. He did Pineapple Express. He did
Your Highness.
Your Highness. Like,
it's like the
David
weirdest
Gordon
resume.
Green could be a really good candidate for a remake.
I've noticed
It
that
also
people
could be a piece of shit at the same time.
I've noticed that people that are really good at comedy, who are also really funny people, are really great at horror. I don't know why that is.
Well, that's because horror
Like Stephen
has
King
like
is
that.
a hilarious person.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a base human emotion thing. Like
Yeah.
You're so connected to that base.
I can see that because
And you look at like Simon Pegg, who did Shaun of the Dead, one of my favorite horror movies ever.
there is like an undertow. Like, horror movies are not supposed to be particularly scary. In my opinion, horror movies are for fun, and so there's a lot of them that are just they're not supposed to scare you. You know, they're just for to laugh at.
Has there ever been a movie that actually scared you?
There's probably been something.
Frozen freaked me out. The movie really freaked me out.
Actually, Antichrist fucked me up a lot. Martyrs was another one that blew my mind. I've never seen anything like that before. Serbian film, as far as content,
I watched that.
kind of grossed me out a little bit, but
I never watched that.
There's a difference between being grossed out and being scared.
yeah, like that movie never really scared me.
haven't
There was a lot of
seen-
parts that I laughed at. Antichrist and Martyrs, like legitimately, there was a lot of stuff in there that I can't say scared me, but I can definitely say had an impact on what I feel in a movie. And there's a lot of stuff in both of those films that not only grossed me out, but, just it had a weird impact on me.
You had a point to make about Suspiria. What were you going to say?
Suspiria, the movie we watched?
Yes, we need to go back to Suspiria because we've obviously not touched on any of that.
The woman who starred in it, we talked about Suspiria quite a bit. The woman who starred in it, though, Jessica Harper.
Yes.
Do you know who she's married to?
Who's she married to?
Tom Rothman. Does anybody know who that
is?
He was the CEO of 20th Century Fox.
Okay.
You mean 30th Century Fox and Futurama?
Do you want me to tell you about Tom Rothman real quick? This isn't about
go
Suspiria.
Ahead. Go ahead.
But just the fact that she's in it. Well, I love the movie, but I hate her because she's married to Tom Rothman.
But why do you hate her because she's married to Tom Rothman?
Okay, first of all, he decided that all 20th Century Fox movies should be 90 minutes or less.
Of course.
Really?
Because most Americans don't have an hour and 45 minutes within them.
He greenlighted M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening.
Okay, surprise.
He
Not at all.
cut X-Men Origins down to an unwatchable piece of crap.
Because X-Men Origins... Who directed that, actually? Brett Ratner did...
He chose Brett Ratner to direct X-Men 3.
Did Origins also
No.
feature Brett Ratner, or no?
No. He made Live Free or Die Hard PG-13.
Why? Because...
Because to get more people in the theater.
Exactly.
So anyway, I hate him.
But then they released the unrated one, which then had the
Right.
yippee-ki-yay motherfucker.
But anyway, I hate him. I hate Jessica Harper in association with him. But I loved her in Suspiria. I thought she was good.
Yeah, she's awesome. What else? Not spoiling anything for Nate. What else did you like about Suspiria?
The fact that Bruce Willis was a ghost the whole time. I thought that was pretty...
Are you shitting me, dude?
This isn't
You just
Suspiria.
gave away the whole plot to Suspiria.
I'm sorry.
This is Sixth Sense. Shut up.
I had the two movies mixed up.
Oh
all
my
the time.
god.
Wow.
What were you asking me?
How did that happen? Did
was
you
I most
like
surprised
the
by?
double penetration in Debbie Does Dallas?
Yes, I did.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, problem solved.
Problem solved.
I love the atmosphere of this movie. The score. I'm going to buy the soundtrack, actually. I can't wait to buy the soundtrack.
If you want to rip the soundtrack off the CD, that's fine because
I'll do that.
The CD's in that case.
Mm.
And actually, I have a bunch of stuff by Goblin. Goblin is really good.
They did the soundtrack to Dawn of the Dead.
Yes.
And so did Dario Argento.
Yes.
He did it with them.
Yeah. What else did Goblin do the soundtrack for? I think they did the soundtrack for Opera, which is another Argento movie. And I'm pretty sure they did the soundtrack for Phenomena, which is Jennifer Connelly before...
Requiem for a Dream.
I hope we heard that creak in the chair. But I'm pretty sure it's before Requiem for a Dream, and I'm pretty sure it's before something else.
And they did the soundtrack for...
Phenomena is like one of Jennifer Connelly's first movies. But real good though. Argento as well. Really good.
And they did the soundtrack for The Land Before Time.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yep.
That's not true.
I wish
No,
it
it's
was
not true. But maybe it is.
Fucking tree
I don't
stars,
know.
dude.
We have about 2 hours of material here by the time it's all said and done, which I'll edit down. But do you fellas have anything else that you...
I mean, I don't care if you guys...
We
spoil it,
actually
so go ahead
didn't
and
talk about this movie at all, I feel like.
Oh, we
Yeah,
did.
we haven't really done a lot of talking about actual Suspiria. You guys talk. I mean, I'll add to it.
We talked about Razor Wire. We talked about Udo Kier. We talked about Colors. We talked about slasher films.
Yeah, but that's...
We talked about Land Before Time.
Talk about Suspiria. Like, actually
Like
talk about
we
Suspiria.
need to at least put a 10 minutes in this podcast for Suspiria.
what
Nate,
you guys
unfortunately, won't get to add to this, but
I'm happy to just be here.
exactly.
If I can have 10 minutes to talk about Suspiria next week, after I watch it, then
Sure.
that's fine. But you guys can talk about whatever you want. I don't care if you spoil it.
What did you like about this movie, Zach?
I
Really sink your teeth into it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because I want to know what you really liked about this movie. I've seen this movie so many times; it's not even funny.
I'll tell you what I don't like about other horror movies that this did not have.
I'll tell you what I don't like about this movie. I don't like the fact that the blind guy has none of his other 5 sentences. He can't see, but yet alone his ears are broken as well.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Because he doesn't understand people talking to him from the right or the left side. And he just looks straight forward the whole time.
Well, blind people are usually
He
idiots.
dies really easily, which is stupid because he's blind. He should have fucking... His other 4 senses should be fine. But they're not.
Maybe he's Helen Keller, you don't know.
Yeah, but even so, like, deaf people should be able to, like...
Blind people.
Or blind people should be able to hear other
Same thing.
things really well. And he does not. He's, like, off in this direction while somebody's talking over to here. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. There's something else in Suspiria that bothers me, but actually, like, overall, this movie, I love this movie. I think I've said that a couple times in this podcast.
Is the blind guy the only flaw? What other flaws do you have?
There's another flaw.
That's a flaw because he's blind. He's not a perfect person.
I don't know. The whole witch thing I think is kind of ridiculous. The fact that they like sit there and like foreshadow the entire movie. Goblin loves to put witch in the rest of the soundtrack, and I think that's kind of ridiculous. But other than that, this is still a really good film. The visuals are amazing in this movie, unlike anything I've ever seen before. The kills are still really cool. It's just all around a really good horror film. I've never seen anything like it before, honestly, but there are some things that I find very annoying.
And it's still in your top 10 because it's
But yet
so
it's
good.
still in my top 10 because it's so good.
Well, Zach, it's your first time watching it, so what were your
What were
impressions?
your opinions on this?
I loved that I did not know where it was going, and I
Okay.
did not. And most of the time,
Which I'm really glad because, like, as much of the foreshadowing that there is going into this film, the fact that you did not see it, the fact that I did not see it is awesome because it, like, blatantly throws out witch. Several parts of the soundtrack, Goblin just is like, witch. Witch.
The whole
Like,
time you thought
there's
that they were
random
talking-
like witch segments in it. They're just like, oh, what's this movie about? oh, it's obviously about witches. Okay,
I think when I
Cool.
watch it, I'm gonna totally forget that you guys even talked. About
probably honestly because that's just this movie is just so beautiful. Everything about this film, you see random like shots, like not only shots but like the colors that Dario Argento uses in this film. Everything about this movie, in my opinion, like makes you overlook the obvious, and it's great. I love it.
Anything else to add, Zach?
I was just gonna say that in most horror movies that I hate, I don't like them because I can pretty much figure out where it's gonna go. And like I said, I didn't know where this was gonna go.
Even as obvious as it is.
Yeah.
It's still like you're focused on everything else but the plot. like Dario Argento is like, you know, there's never been. Have you ever seen another horror movie shot the same way as Suspiria? Probably not.
No.
Yeah, there's never been anything like it.
It's the first Italian movie ever to use Steadicam.
Yeah, which we actually like talked about
Really
earlier
cool.
today too, which was really cool. I did mention, I don't know if this part was either heard nor you heard in the segment. It is 36 years old as of August 12th, 1977, which I think is a kind of cool thing we should put in each podcast. I like that.
That every movie we watch is 36 years old.
Every single one.
Not 36 years old.
And that's in your top 10?
We should put the date. I think we should include the date and how long this movie has been around.
I know something weird. This has a 7.4 rating on IMDb, which is
exactly the same as Dracula.
Is exactly the same as Dracula.
That's awesome.
Can we only watch movies with 7.4?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, because 7.4 is obviously a good rating on IMDb.
We won't be able to watch Bring It On if that's the case, though.
I mean,
Son of a
Catching
bitch.
Fire is going to be at least an 8.2.
For the first
Probably
weekend.
not. I'm not looking totally forward to Catching Fire, but I am
Jennifer
looking
Lawrence is going to
forward.
be in it.
She's so hot.
She's so hot, and I love those books.
She's got her chubby cheeks. It's
I'm going to say she has her Chevy
God.
Chase.
She has
I
her
just-
chubby chase.
I just watched Silver Linings Playbook again the other day.
That's a good
It's
movie.
So good. I love that
It's a
movie.
good movie. It's a damn good movie.
We're not talking about Silver Linings Playbook and horror movies. I just want to...
Silver Linings Playbook is scary. It's about being
It's crazy.
depressed and kind of crazy and then
Yeah.
hitting your
Yeah,
dad.
there's some scary elements to that.
Mhm.
Okay.
What are we watching next week?
Eating
Yeah.
Raoul.
Yeah, Eating Raoul.
Not necessarily a horror movie, but it's an interesting film.
We will find the horror
It's a
in
lot
it.
of fun. There's
Oh,
horror.
yeah,
in
we'll
it,
definitely
absolutely.
find some horror in
And
it.
if there isn't any in there, we'll make some.
Can we just scream when the
Sure.
whole time we're doing the podcast?
Do whatever
I
you
heard
want.
that you guys watch Eating Raoul. Am I fired from the podcast now?
Get
No,
the fuck
there's
out
no
of here.
firing from the podcast. You know, if these people want to listen to us talking for fucking an hour and a half about absolutely nothing, well, then they need to listen to another podcast
Where there are people talking about nothing.
where they're
that's
people
all they are,
talking
really.
about something for an hour and a half and not about just random shit.
So what have we learned here tonight, boys?
We have learned here
That
that
this is in your top 10.
Suspiria is in my top 10.
I learned that Suspiria
And
is
that-
36 years old.
36 years old.
Anybody that what?
Something about Jell-O.
Hold on.
Halloween.
Puddin' Pops.
Puddin' Pops.
Italian horror movies
Bill Cosby.
Yeah, we talked
are
about
all
Giallo.
about stabbing people.
Stabbing people. Bill Cosby.
And that as far as a stabbing people is concerned film, Suspiria is one of the greatest. If you just want to watch a serial killer, watch Halloween. But Suspiria is amazing.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like you guys are holding back. I feel like you don't want to ruin something for me, and I don't want to.
Well, we
I
don't
wanna
want
hold
to
you
ruin
back.
something
I'm out.
for you.
I'm out of gas.
You're out of
I
gas.
I'm
have
out.
plenty
I'm
of
running on
more
fumes.
gas to go.
Okay, well, use your gas. Give some to Zach. It's like when you
Give
use
me a
that
can of
code to
gas.
give somebody your extra life in Mario.
I don't know what to say though. I don't want to ruin it for you.
I'm totally fine.
There's
with that
nothing,
because
like-
this is for these people. This isn't for me.
But at the same, I don't want to ruin it for you. But there's not that much to ruin.
The plot is extremely thin.
So
Exactly.
The
like,
plot is thin, but it's more about the substance of the movie.
Really, it's
Exactly.
one of those movies you
It's-
shouldn't think about. You should just watch it. Like,
Exactly.
You just watch it.
Because
Let
it's
it-
just a
let it-
just
beautifully,
happen to
just
you.
let it happen.
it's
let
just
it-
a beautiful film. Honestly, like, there's plenty of other slasher movies beforehand, but Suspiria, I think, is one of the most, like, it's like Halloween in the aspect that it's like
in your top 10.
not in my top 10, but like people know Suspiria, people know Halloween. Like that's, you know, if you talk to any kind of like horror movie critic, they're gonna be like Suspiria and Halloween. Maybe not in that order, And they may never even mention Suspiria, but it's still that great in my opinion.
Okay. Well, I'm inspired to watch it. I wanted to watch it before, but you guys really have me geared up to watch it.
It's great.
Yeah, you're all into it.
Yeah, I'm.
You want it all up in your life?
I want it. All up in my eyeballs.
I think it should be up in your eyeballs. I do think that you should not think about it in our aspect. If like, it's not that great, but it's great. Like, I just don't want you to be.
It's not great, but it's great. You
What?
understand?
Yeah, I just don't want you to have like this.
Preconceived notion.
Exactly. Like, I don't want you to think that it's too good, and then you're gonna be let down by the movie.
I'm not.
It is really good. It is really well shot. It's the most colorful horror film I have ever seen in my entire life. And
Besides Psycho.
no,
That's black and white. Sorry.
even Psycho. Like, I feel like this horror film has more than anything I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's like a rainbow of horror.
It is. It's not only the colors, but even the shots. Like, everything that happens in this movie is because Dario Argento wanted it to happen.
It's like eating a bowl of Fruit Loops with blood
beautiful.
instead of milk.
It's beautiful, in my opinion. Exactly. Like, it's as ridiculous as that sound. That's exactly how it is. If he wanted you to see this, if he wanted you to see something in this movie, he showed it. And
Can I just say that again real quick because I'm proud of it? It's like eating a bowl of Fruit Loops with blood instead of milk.
yes.
Let's
Go ahead and say it one more time.
That should be on a T-shirt.
Is that your listening to this girl breathe is like torture?
Yes. Yes.
I'm glad you liked it as much as you did because it's,
You know what else is really great about it?
honestly, it is so good.
You know what else is really good about it? Keanu Reeves was not in it.
Keanu Reeves is not in it, which is great because Keanu Reeves sucks horribly.
Can we mention Keith David briefly, just because I feel bad for assuming that another black man was him
Sure.
in the last podcast?
Yeah.
Keith David, he's an actor.
Chris Columbus.
Who'd you think he was in Dracula?
No, remember when I thought he was the Joker and the Batman?
Oh. You're so racist.
I know. I am a piece of shit. I want that to be like when the movie is playing and it freeze frames on me when it's introducing me.
Mm-hmm.
I am a piece of shit. That's the little tagline that it's gonna pop up underneath my name.
Nice. I said again.
You stupid.
Yeah, that's
Let it go.
gonna
I'm just gonna
happen.
let it go.
Honestly, you shouldn't even have to like edit that.
I shouldn't even. I should
We're
just
gonna
let
say
it go.
I
we're
think
gonna say
potentially
like.
what you could do is say and then not call attention to the fact that you said
Exactly.
It happens
like-
to all guys at least once. Like, let's.
People listening
Everybody
to this
ums
are gonna
early at least once.
understand that we're gonna say things that are just off topic and prolonged.
Here's the thing. I every day.
I
sometimes
every
I-
day. I
sometimes
say
I
like
early.
all the time.
I have to every day, or else I'll go insane.
Sometimes you early and you can't be embarrassed.
Yeah,
Sometimes you come early and you can't be embarrassed.
That was the joke.
that's you're right on. You're right there, man.
Is there anything else that you guys want to add about Suspiria?
I
feel
want to
like
see.
there
I would
probably
like to see
is.
more Dario Argento movies because this was my first one.
Honestly, everything he does is so good. Well,
Cat o' Nine Tails, go.
until
Is this his best
he-
movie? Is this his best movie?
This is his best movie.
I don't want to see anything else by them. Fuck him.
But with that being said, Phenomena is incredible.
Phenomenon?
Phenomenon is incredible.
Is that the movie with John Travolta?
No,
where he-
Phenomena.
Oh, Phenomena.
Phenomena is incredible.
Phenomena.
Phenomena.
Is that what you were trying to do?
Actually, anything that Argento did in the early 60s, late 70s, actually, late 60s, early 70s, is really good. Suspiria is obviously like a what do you call that?
Horror movie.
Not a horror movie.
Italian word.
Not an Italian word.
Okay.
It's just some kind of like. It's like I don't know, some kind of stigmatism for.
Stigmata.
No.
Stick figures.
It's just that like.
Does it mean pizza in Italian?
Pizza is pizza in Italian.
If you just let me finish, I might be able to say what I want to say.
Go ahead and finish.
Suspiria is like that, like, I don't know. I don't have any idea what I want to say.
I feel like
That's
Zach
okay.
and I just ruined that for you.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sorry.
So that was the whole plan, really.
I'm sorry a little bit.
But anyway,
I am sorry, too.
Suspiria is great. And he has other great movies as well. Just not as good as Suspiria. But
Suspiria
still,
is it's his crown jewel.
that's his, yeah.
The rest of it is beautiful, but that's the centerpiece.
I feel like
Besides
Suspiria or
the Sandlot.
Phenomena are his, like, those are his crown jewels. Like, he has never done anything else that's worth watching. He has, but not, type of thing. Phenomena is amazing because it's Jennifer Connelly and Donald Pleasance. And it's so good. But Suspiria just has a totally different feel. It's shot totally differently. Like, he's never done anything like that since Suspiria. Suspiria is it. Like, it's a very colorful slasher movie that, in my opinion, nobody has ever done anything like since.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it.
I haven't
Besides,
either.
Harry and the Hendersons would be the one.
Harry and the Hendersons, there's a lot of stabbings in that movie.
That was a Dario Argento movie.
There's a
Very little known
Yeti.
fact.
There's a Yeti in that movie.
His name's Harry.
And there's a little kid that says, "Holy shit,"
That's true.
who's like 6 years old, which is hilarious.
All
I
right.
love that part of the movie.
So next week is Eating
Eating
Ralph.
Raoul.
Eating Raoul.
Yeah, everybody's gonna hate this fucking episode.
Why?
Why?
I don't know.
This is our best one so far.
I feel like we were just as off topic as last week.
Oh, fuck them.
Yeah, TJ, I love you, and that's all I'm gonna say. Because you're the only person that'll listen to our podcast.
That's
TJ
true.
said entertaining content.
He did say there was
He did.
content.
Fuck
Because there
Justin
was.
Krigovich because I don't know. Just fuck you, Justin.
I love you, Justin. I don't
We,
want to.
we love you, but you're gonna hate everything we have to say because
It wasn't as good as Act of Valor.
It wasn't as good as Act of Valor.
Oh, Justin.
Man
I
of
love
Steel is just trash.
You. He does hate Man of Steel.
He does hate Man of Steel.
I
And he loves Gravity.
he does
I want to
love
see Gravity.
also.
I want to see that.
Sandra Bullock is great. George Clooney is great.
I hate Sandra Bullock.
They fly
I
through
hate Sandra Bullock
space
so
all
much.
the time.
I hope she dies in a fire,
and,
actually.
I would watch a movie of her dying in a fire.
Yeah,
I would watch
Sandra
a
Bullock.
movie. But she does travels from space station
I want
to
to see the
space
blind
station.
side. I want it to be the deaf side. I guess that's it for the senses, huh? The smellless side,
Smell aside.
the touchless side. I don't want her to have any senses from her burning
Did
to
we
death in a
talk
fire.
about Suspiria all this week?
We did.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like you guys held back because I haven't seen
Well,
it. I
yeah,
feel
we
sad
obviously
that,
did.
that I've held you guys back.
No, it's fine.
I don't know what else to say, really.
we'll have to talk about it for like next week. Let's like give us like 10 minutes to talk about
yeah, a little,
Suspiria,
little
and then
wrap
we'll
up
talk
next.
about Eating Raoul.
Yeah. I think it's a good
Because
idea.
I feel like we did hold back a little bit.
It makes me sad. I want you guys to give everything you can to the listeners.
But there's
In
not
the
like
second episode.
at the same time there's not.
I'm
that
showing
much
them
to give.
pictures
like
of my penis. Is that not
if-
enough?
That's fine.
the only thing I can spoil for this movie is that
Everyone dies at the end.
No.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. But this movie is all about witches. And if you, like me and Zach, if you don't understand that from the get-go, well, then we're all a bunch of idiots because it's very obvious.
Goblin told me.
And even after I've watched it several times, second time through, I was just like, wow, how did I miss witches in this movie? The Goblin says it like 5 times, and you're just like, witch.
Wasn't it supposed to be a school just for girls?
It is.
Well, what was that boy doing
no,
there?
it was just a ballet school.
Okay.
So, like, the fact that guys have parts in the ballet is irrelevant because it's just a ballet school. It doesn't matter if it's male or female.
So he was a queer then, is what you're saying.
He could have been.
Are we gonna do
They
this?
actually
Dan,
don't
on
ever
every
talk
podcast?
about that. He's
Insult
just
gay
a ballet male dancer. He could be gay, for all I know.
The chances of one of the 43 listeners being gay and 35 of those being me and being gay are very slim. So.
But,
Yeah,
and then the
if-
chances of them being gay and then thinking that we're actually homophobic are probably even slimmer.
Well, fuck those guys. We're not homophobic.
I'll take it out.
Fuck them in the butt with our penises.
I
We're not
love
homophobic.
gay guys because I don't give a shit. If you want to listen to our horror podcast and
I'm wrapping up. Nate, say goodbye. Introduce us to our movie next week.
Good night, everybody.
so we're gonna
Next
watch
week,
Eating Raoul next
Yes.
week.
Next
I'm an
week.
idiot, and so don't listen to me.
You can listen to Andrew anyway, but listen to him next week when we talk about eating Raoul.
Listen to him. Never when
We're gonna
he's
be
never
just all
talking.
feasting and eating up on Raoul and just eating them out
just
and just
gonna fill our mouths with Raoul.
I'm not homophobic. I mean,
I just want everything to sound good.
You just want everybody to be happy.
exactly. You want somebody to be able to listen to it. They can only hear 2 out of 3 of us.
I'm over here.
I mean, I'm right here.
I'm here. I'm here at the end of the table.
I seem to be making bigger chunks of sound.
Am I making any kind of sound
Is it
at
that
all?
you're making bigger chunks of sound? Your voice is a little higher. Maybe it's higher frequency. I don't know.
Do I have a higher pitched voice than
You're
you
a
guys?
fucking
You
baby bitch
may,
girl.
because actually when I was listening to the things, I sound really low.
Do you?
Oh, I do.
Everybody sounds
if I
different
talk like
on
this.
recording.
Actually,
maybe,
when
maybe we should all talk like we have authority, like when you're.
Actually, when I do this, it makes me look even more defined on there.
That's because you're filling.
I don't know.
Out,
I'm
you're
just
filling
gonna,
out the gaps.
You know, what? I'll go to the record player and you can just put your face right in this thing, and
What
then
if we just do maybe move it just a hair?
I don't know.
Further away. Oh wait, that's closer to you.
Yeah, don't get it. Yeah, put it right there. I'll just be back
I'm
here.
the star now.
Yeah, sure.
Fuck all y'all.
Piece of feedback I got from IMDb. By the way, boys, we got
So what do we get from IMDb?
we got ourselves 42 views.
I know we did.
since
I saw
Friday,
that. It's awesome.
and they said we couldn't do it. And here we are at episode 2.
42 views
42
later.
is the answer to everything.
The feedback I got on IMDb.
Hey, if we get at least 42 views for the second episode,
Yeah.
then I'll be happy.
I was probably 39 of them, but it doesn't matter.
Let's shoot for like
I was
43 this time.
You were one?
I listened to
I
it
listened to
twice.
it.
You did?
I listened to it once to actually listen to it, and then I listened to it as I was going to bed. Also,
Oh. You like to hear my voice when you go to bed, huh?
God, I could barely sleep
actually
because
like-
my
I get
penis
it.
actually penetrated my mattress.
I didn't talk barely at all, I feel like.
I thought you were very
Really? I
coherent
felt like
and
I
well spoken,
talked-
sir.
Oh, thank you.
I
But
felt
I-
like I talked very little.
I feel like, actually, I feel like you guys said a lot. I didn't say
I
anything
think
at all.
we have a hit.
But, I mean, it's fine. Because, I mean,
We're like Ray
obviously you
Charles.
guys have way more interesting things to say than I do.
Well,
I
this
mean,
is
that's
your
true.
movie this week, so you better be talking more than anybody.
No, that's actually, I'm
You've watched it
We'll
like
see.
20 times. You have to have something to say.
I
about it.
have plenty to say about this movie.
Say something.
I love this movie.
Honestly, if you guys spoil it,
I mean, this movie is really amazing to me.
I feel like it's one of those Inception things where
I
you
want to get
can't
a
really spoil
tattoo
it.
of this movie.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
if
you
guys
really can't.
spoil a
It's
little
not gonna
bit,
matter when
okay.
you watches it.
You can, but like I feel like it's like one of those things that like the foreshadowing is extremely obvious after
Really?
you see it, type of thing.
I mean, I already heard that it's about witches.
yeah. So then that's all
And
you
then
need
I
to
heard
know.
bat
Yeah.
screeching. Was it bats?
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
bad.
bad.
No, like you. Unfortunately, you walked in at the end, and that is like the part they want you to. That's like the mind blow part.
Right.
But it's
I mean,
really
I was eating cheese and talking to Divya in the kitchen, so
everything that leads up to that point. The score does a lot of like, there's a lot of like the score music going on. It's like
Score
its
is so
main
awesome.
theme, which is so good. But then
amazing.
after about 45 minutes of the movie, it starts throwing out witch, and
Okay.
it does that periodically. So every time that theme is then played from that point on, it says witch, and so it's pretty obvious after about 45 minutes what this movie's about. But
is it witches?
It's about witches.
it's still like that was supposed
Damn
to
dirty
be
witches.
You blew it up.
Because actually, I don't think. I mean, you didn't pick up on it, and the first time I watched it, I didn't pick up on it at all until pretty much the one. There's a part where the one roommate like tells her, "Hey, I think this is witches," and then that's the point where you're supposed to be like, "Oh, okay." And yeah, I didn't pick up on it. I don't feel like you picked up on it.
I did not.
Stop talking about it. Save it all.
Honestly, like while watching it, I was thinking to
You're
myself,
just so focused on everything else because it's, in my opinion, it's unlike anything you've ever seen before.
it really is.
Actually, we should stop. I really should stop
that's what I'm
talking.
saying. Like,
Stop
stop
talking
talking,
about the
about
movie.
it. Save it
We
all.
need to
this will
'cause
be a
I-
hard episode then. Is that what we're
blow
saying?
Exactly.
my mind.
No, it's not gonna be a hard episode. I feel like we have a lot of content. I mean, I can talk about this movie a lot. I feel like you can
It's
talk
okay
about this
if
movie.
you
I can
guys
talk about this
spoil
movie
it.
quite a
Like,
bit.
spoilers don't usually bother me, so I was just worried.
It's
about
not,
Everybody
like,
dies at the
honestly,
end.
that's the only spoiler is
John died,
the
yeah.
fact that it's revolving around a coven of witches.
I mean, I already heard that, so
And you heard that, exactly. I figured you did,
And
so
there's
I
a
was just
bat.
like, well, that's you
Does
know what the
somebody-
plot of this movie is.
Does
Honestly, it's such
somebody
Which is
crash
actually
through,
cool for you because I feel like now in a way you're going to be able to see everything else that I
It'll
didn't
be like
see
the
the
second
first
time
time.
I'm watching it. The
Or
first
he
time I'm
didn't.
watching
Exactly.
Actually, I would say that it's such a visual movie.
All right, stop. We
it. Yeah, stop
All right,
talking
shut
about
up.
it.
God damn it.
Why are we doing
Can
this?
we rewind back a little bit?
we can. I can.
We got some
repeat everything
we
I
got some
just said.
feedback on our first episode on
IMDb.
IMDb. I posted on IMDb. I posted on horror.com. IMDb says there was a guy that said, "I'm not going to listen to your podcast because I think Bram Stoker's Dracula is one of the worst movies of all time.
Well, he's wrong.
But I will listen next week because I really love Suspiria." So, hello.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
That was
So we
worth
have
it.
one person.
What if we spent the
One
whole
guy.
time? What if we spent the whole time shitting all over Dracula and he could have like listened to it and had a good time?
I mean, we kind of did.
We kind
In
of
a
did.
way, Keanu.
We shat
No,
on-
we shit on Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
We shat
because-
on aspects of the movie.
And what happened as a result? We got
'Cause
ourselves
I
43
even-
views.
Honestly, if we want a fourth person in this, I know a fourth person who would really like to do this.
Justin
that?
Krgovich.
Chris.
Chris?
My,
would
like
be
a
on there?
real good friend of mine.
Bring him in.
And because I was telling him, I was just like, we just watched, we just did a podcast on Dracula. I was telling him about it last week, and he was just like,
Do you listen to
I
it?
fucking love that movie. No,
There you
actually,
go.
he didn't.
So good. How did I not
Because
know
he
for
doesn't
so
follow
long
on
it was so
Facebook,
good?
so I'm just gonna have to like paste him the YouTube link on his phone, just send it to him in a text, and then I'm sure he'll listen to it after that.
I know
Sweet.
Corey wants to do it sometime because I was talking to him about it. He said it would be fun if we had him on.
We should
sometime.
have guest speakers.
Get
Justin
I think
would
it'd
be
be cool.
fun to have on.
Get
just
the
because he's
TJ
crazy.
Firestone in
Yeah,
here.
get TJ Firestone in there.
I know. I don't know. Divya might be into it if we ask her to come on.
Get her in here.
Yeah, we can get anybody. Honestly, like, I'm
Probably
fine
some
with.
homeless guy in
We'll
Akron.
just do like a random fourth
Do-
person.
Do
Like,
you know the homeless guy that wanders around town?
Yeah, who talks to himself?
Yeah, we can fucking
Scares
get
the
him.
shit out of me. I saw him at Walgreens.
He's
He
always
just-
in that like old big coat. and,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, he was standing right by the red box.
It makes me sad because like you live somewhere in these woods
Yeah.
that like are right around me.
I think he might have been in Nam or something. And
Sometimes
he was,
I just want to like tell him to get in my car and go buy him a sandwich. You know.
I wouldn't do that. I don't want to get
I wouldn't.
murdered.
I mean, I mostly just don't want my
Well,
car to smell.
don't worry
I don't
about
think that
getting
he has the capacity to murder me because he's so small and frail.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's how I feel about it.
Oh, you talking about the guy with the white beard?
Yeah.
That's always walking?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the guy that's always outside the store on Friday nights. I don't think you
Oh, yeah, that guy's fucking
I
crazy.
see him all the time.
Wait,
dude.
which guy?
The guy that,
like picks up cigarette
he's got
butts?
the bushy, like, black and gray beard.
And he wears the same piece of
He's
clothing
always
every
like...
time. He's talking
That's
to
the
someone,
guy I would not let in my
He
car.
pulls cigarette butts out the thing
Does he?
all the time.
Oh, that's fucked
I mean,
up.
I just...
He
that
comes
just
around
makes
in the
me
mornings,
feel
too.
bad for him.
I've seen him so many times. That guy, that guy's
He's
crazy.
a piece of work.
That makes me...
I
was
wouldn't be worried about him being able to murder me, but I still would not let him in my car.
No, I would
just
not buy
'cause,
him a
like,
sandwich.
Well, I would buy
I
him
just
a
don't want
sandwich
his, like,
and
I
give
just
it
don't
to
want
him,
his, like,
but I wouldn't
cooties
invite him into my vehicle.
in my vehicle. Like I don't want that homeless smell.
Yeah.
Well, like that...
I got my own smell.
That's
don't
not
worry
something
about.
that's permanent. Like,
Exactly.
I'm not worried about that
The car smells
so
like
much.
cigarettes. I don't want
That
to smell
guy-
like death.
That guy, I would just be scared because I feel like he doesn't actually know what's happening around him.
Oh no.
So I wouldn't want him to do anything violent that was like unwarranted. Because then I would feel bad fighting back.
He's off.
But
work
also
now.
I don't
this
want to get
podcast.
fucked up by a homeless guy. I don't want to get fucked by a homeless guy.
Or fucked
I'm
by a
trying
homeless
to
guy.
say.
Yeah. Sure. That's... I had to think about that for a second. Just the visual of it.
Just me getting raped by a homeless guy in my car outside Wendy's.
How was
is this?
your week?
If I look this up on
Good.
YouTube, what is this under?
This is under ATMOM.
Episode
At
1.
Mom. Okay. Cool. That's what I thought. At Movies of Madness.
At the Movies and Madness.
I
Doesn't even know
plugged,
the
it, I
own-
plugged it on my
I do.
Facebook page.
Yeah, that's
2 people liked it. TJ Firestone. and
Yeah,
Daniel
I was in-
Riley.
I don't know who he is, but I
After
appreciate
you guys
his comment.
posted something, I was just like, I should post something and be in the third party of this podcast.
I really want to post
but
it on
I don't
my
know
wall.
what- I need to post something that's like not the same thing as you guys.
What? Just repost
Hey,
it.
we're one thing here.
Just
We're a
share
unit.
it. Just share it and say like, "Holy fuck, I was on a thing."
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm in a podcast, guys.
Say exactly that. Say, Holy
You're
fuck,
a
I was on thing."
co-host.
I should just do that actually. Holy fuck, I'm in a podcast.
How was your week?
It was pretty good.
It's been a week since we watched Dracula.
That's true.
What's going on with you? What the hell's up?
I met my girlfriend's mom.
Yeah, how was that?
How did that happen?
It was
What's going
pretty good. She was really nice, and we talked about authors because she read this. She's read this one book since 6th grade like 100 times, and I asked her about it.
What's the book?
Well, I don't know the title because it's by some. Telugu is the language that they speak in.
I typed in
The part of
ATMOM
India that
episode
they're from?
1 and nothing came up.
You might have to
Really?
type in ATMOM Dracula.
Yeah, do that.
That'd be too weird. That works for me.
But it's this Telugu author named Vasaredi Sita Devi. But none of her books have ever been translated. They're all in Telugu.
Hey, there we go.
But she's read this book like 60 million times, and it sounds really cool. It's about like some rich girl, and like the wealth of these kids like makes them into bad people, and they get wrapped up in drugs, and it's just about like suffering and how wealth isn't always everything, and like ruins people sometimes. And it sounds awesome.
That
I
sounds
wanna
like it's
read
been
it.
translated in the language of me.
Right.
My life.
Yeah, your wealth has destroyed you.
Yep.
You shit stain.
All right,
Andrew?
well, what? How's my week been going?
How you doing? What's going on with you?
I mean, same old.